Good evening. So I'm sure you're already aware with the term Mexican standoff, where you got two gunslingers staring at each other, very intense, with a very serious expression on their face for extreme close-ups where all you can see is their eyes. You're waiting for somebody to make the next move. Well, there is such a thing as the Canadian standoff. It's when four drivers end up at a four-way stop sign. Nobody knows what to do next. Oh, it's a good joke because it's partially true. Good evening, Internet. This is Dave K. Welcome to my channel, such as it is. So, I work in Oklahoma, but I live in California. I grew up in Northern California, migrated south to Southern California, and let me tell you that there is nothing worse than Southern California drivers. Except maybe Florida. I've been to Florida, down to Miami. Those people just have a death wish. I don't know what's going on down there. It's a little crazy. But what I've discovered is, in different locations, people drive vastly differently. For anybody that's been stuck in LA traffic, you can understand how road rage can take over. I figured I'd come up with some basic rules of the road for you to follow to make life easier for you and those around you. And this comes from experience from years ago when I was an insurance claims adjuster working for one of the big insurance companies. I don't need to mention who, but they've got a little animal as a mascot. So here we go. Today, on how not to be an a-hole. Rules of the road. Rule number 1. Not everybody can drive defensively. Sorry, that's just the way it is. You can drive defensively, but if everybody does it, you end up with a Canadian standoff. And nobody wants to sit at a stop sign forever, okay? Rule number 2. The purpose of the on-ramp is to merge into oncoming traffic, and you use that space to speed up to traffic speed. Nobody wants to be behind the guy who's putt-putting along at 35 miles an hour because they're trying to save on gas mileage. Sorry, buddy. Hit the gas to the floor. It's that long rectangular pedal next to the big stoppy pedal. Yeah, go ahead and push that one all the way down and get yourself right on up in there. That'd be helpful, thanks. Rule number 3. Just because you put your blinker on does not magically grant you permission to come into my lane, or anybody's lane for that matter. The blinker is used as an indicator, indicating that is your intention to move into another lane. Just because you want to doesn't mean you can. That's actually a pretty good rule for most of life. Just because you want to doesn't mean you can. So hey, how about you put that blinker on, take a look in those mirrors at either side, and then decide if you've got room to move over. And that leads us into Rule 3B. Once you've got your blinker on and you've moved over into that other lane, how about you drive the appropriate speed for that lane? You're moving into fast traffic? Go faster. You're moving into slow traffic, you might want to slow down. But just sitting there with your blinker on for 30 minutes ain't going to do anybody any good. Because then everybody's going to get confused behind you. Or they're just going to go around because they figure you're just taking a round-the-world tour to the left. And now we get to rule number 4. In the U.S., don't flash your lights if you're coming up on somebody at high speed. That's not going to end well. You're either going to A, make them slam on their brakes on purpose and slow you down even further. Or B, if you're in South Central, you'll probably get shot. Nobody wants that. Yeah, it's common in Europe, but it's considered pretty offensive here. So you may want to just lay off those lights, not even worry about it. Take a deep breath, figure out what your priorities are today, and wait until you have time to go over it. Subpart to Rule 4. This is a problem I struggle with every day. If somebody is going the speed limit, that is literally the fastest they should be going. So just because you want to go faster doesn't mean you get to. So again, you got to calm yourself down and decide where you're going to go or if you're going to give them room to move out of your way. But all it takes is one deep breath, maybe count to 10. Don't close your eyes though. Closing your eyes is a bad idea. And then go around. Rule 5, and I learned this one by picking up way too many people on the roadside. Car versus semi. The semi's always going to win. That's just straight physics. You don't need to cut them off. You don't need to swerve in front of them. You don't need to turn left in front of them. You sure as hell don't want to start passing somebody on a 2-lane road and end up facing one of these suckers head on. It's just not pretty. So thanks for sticking around. I'm just getting some practice in. I'm sure this was horrible to watch. I'm glad for you 5 people that stuck around and just power through it. If you're interested in any more, you can look at my intro video, my very first video right up here. All the buttons down below, you know what those are for. Comment, tell me what you like, what you don't like. This is a process for me. I'm still learning, so let me know what you think. And I will see you on Tuesday. Cheers.